What's going on? So this morning I was able to catch a silver short. Wasn't able to make the video as soon as I took the trade. Only reason being is because I had a webinar in the morning and just wanted to put full focus into that. So London session, obviously we know that's when momentum is usually going to kick in. Originally, I'll tell you how I came across this trade idea. So I was looking at gold, and originally I was looking at this area up here, all right? And when I was looking at it, I was like, okay, well, there's a few possibilities. We could probably have something like this, where price then comes up, and then it creates that, and then it just kind of comes up, scoops, and maybe even near misses that area, which is fine, or it comes up, takes it out, we get the trade, and we sell off. That's what I was really looking for. But at the same time, every time I look at gold, I always tend to look at silver as well, just to see how they're both developing. And then I was looking at silver, and I kind of saw this a little bit differently. I was like, okay, hang on, you know, if gold's going and silver's stalling, is it a possibility that silver has legs to go as well? So then I looked at it a little bit closer, and what I did notice over here was that although we have been sort of coming up like this, right, there was still the potential that this was a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So then I was looking at this area to see, what if this is a pretty decent trade for this to then sell off? Obviously, I'm not looking at that majorly large sell right now. If it happens, it happens, we'll deal with it. But more importantly, I was looking at how, is this a possible trade where I could take this, it's basically trading through this, it's now broken this, and then as I refined it, I just like to keep it a little bit clean, go to the 1 hour, as I refined it, we could then see here, if that was the line in the sand, we're now trading below it. So then I was able to look at this. I was looking for more of a risk entry in this area, but it didn't come through. As we had that strong bearish candle, I wasn't going to sit there and wait for perfection. I was just like, you know what, I'll take it and I'll deal with the consequence of it. And yeah, the trade just happened to kind of follow through now. So it is floating around about 1% on the account, which leaves the account balance at around about 7K. But again, it's completely irrelevant. We're playing the bigger move here, so I'm more than happy to probably lock in around about 50% there on my stop loss. Leave it as it is for a while, see how price develops, and then if we do start coming back into these areas here and we do drop off, I'll definitely have at least 1%, break even locked in over there. And then as we break lower and we start to follow through, I'll then lock in about 1%, or maybe even be a bit more aggressive in coming around about here, which would be roughly around about 2% for me, and then see how we're responding to this overall area here. And then if price does just continue to follow through, which most likely we're looking at towards the back end of June, we should then see larger continuations around about here. And we understand there'll be some stalling and messing about potentially. So then we can then look to get involved in these sort of trades over here. So that's basically the trade idea on XAG, US dollar, silver. If you guys caught this trade as well, I'd love to see how you guys are managing your trades as well. But more importantly, I am looking at this as a bigger move, so I'm just going to zoom out one more time and have a little view of this, and we can see here that, you know, even though we have this whole overall structure, we are still trading above. So we are still, in theory, in long continuation. Nothing has really changed until we're trading back down here. That's when we could probably argue that we'll start having some sort of sentiment change, and we could potentially see some sort of continuations to the downside, and then we can get involved for more moves to the downside. But for now, I think short-term plays, looking at price coming back down into these areas, if it does, then we know how to play it. Again, you know, we're looking at probably next month or so that's just being prepared for the future. Right now we just need to focus on what we have here, and what we do have is just very clear deliberate price action. You could argue that it is probably developing something small right now, where you're getting this sort of continuation here. I personally am not interested in getting involved on that, because I'm already involved up here. I could lock this in at break even and then entertain a trade like that. But if we did get something like that, I'll be honest with you, I probably would be interested in the scaling, but for the sakes of, you know, it basically being exactly where I am positioned now, it would have to be something that I'd really have to consider. But it still would be a decent trade because I'm still playing the same move. and I'm just getting a scale in. It's just like how much risk exposure would I have on the table, and at that point there, I would have to then be at break even, which I think is very possible. And yeah, so we'll look at it here. So if I've got this ray line on this low over here, and then let's say we do get something like that, where this then comes up, develops, creates a bottom, comes back up and does this. At that point there, I don't think it has much reason to want to come back up. So yeah, looking at it, I would still be interested in a trade like that. What I would be waiting for is probably the first rejection. If we did get a small entry in there, that would still be interesting. But first rejection would be solid. If we got the criteria that I'm looking for, I could take a trade in there. This would be locked in around about break even. And then this one would be probably where my, just above about here, about 19-ish, 20 pips stop loss. And I'd be protected there. And then I'd look to play that to the downside for around about 5% on that trade. And then I'd be looking at borderline, just grab that bread. We're looking at roughly around about 5, so we'll look at 10% if we get the scale in. If not, you know, still a solid 5% trade on the table there. And then worst case scenario, we don't get the second entry and the first one ends up at a break even or half a loss. Again, still a lot of potential in the market, a lot of good trades, and that's basically the only one that I was looking at. I did have a few other pairs that I was kind of eyeing up, but I'll be honest with you, this is solid, this is a great trade, I'm very happy with it. So I'll catch you guys in the next video.